What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to walk you through how I start my product research and how I determine whether or not I want to pursue a product on Amazon. I'm going to go over the softwares that I use, a few helpful tips, and then I'm going to walk you through the process of me finding a couple different products to get you into the right mindset of what to look for, how to do your product research, and how to determine whether or not it's something you should pursue. First of all, I want to start by telling you about the softwares that I use. A lot of people talk about Jungle Scout, Helium 10, and Viral Launch. In my experience, I've always used Jungle Scout. I've never had any problems with it. It's always served me very well, and I feel as if it's one of the most accurate platforms out there to use. That might not be the case for you, or you might want to use a different UI, or whatever reason it is. I would recommend you try all three of them: Viral Launch, Helium 10, and Jungle Scout. I'll have links below in the description. Try any of them out, whichever one you like best. They all pull from the same data, but you got to find one that you really enjoy using. I personally like Jungle Scout, so that's what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be showing you how to use it. When it comes to product research, I have a few different rules that I like to follow. By no means you have to stick with these rules. These are just important points to understand that will help you make more sense of everything when it comes to Amazon. The first and most important rule when it comes to product research is you want to find something that has a lower barrier to entry on Amazon. What that means for me is I look for products with a lower number of competitors and a low average review count. Both of these are important. The first one's important because you don't want to compete against thousands and thousands of other people, because it becomes that much harder to get noticed. And as far as reviews are concerned, if the average review count is in the thousands, it's going to take you quite a bit of time to build up to that. So that means it's going to take longer to get to the first page. It's going to take longer for you to get noticed, and it's going to take longer for people to trust your product over another product that might have 2,000 or 3,000 reviews. If you're looking at two listings, but one of them has way more reviews on Amazon, the one with the more reviews is always going to win. So you want to be sure to look for something that has a lower average review count. And I'm going to go into more detail with this when we actually do the live product research demo. The second thing that I look for is that the product has medium to high demand. Now, the reason demand is so important is because if there's no demand, nobody's looking for your product, nobody's going to buy it. So medium to high demand usually means that what I found in my experience is medium to high demand means there's a couple different sellers making more than 5 figures a month, probably a few making 6 figures. And that's great because it means there's so much money in the market for me to jump in and take some of that market share. If you find a product that has high demand and high competition, that means there's a lot of money to be made. It just takes a little bit longer. You want to find something that's medium to high demand, but preferably low to medium competition. The last rule is more of a game that I kind of play with myself. When I sit down to do product research, I focus on finding something that I didn't know existed. If I sit down and do product research right now, in the next 30 minutes, I want to have found a product or found a niche that I didn't even know existed before I sat down. If you sit down and you look at only the things that you know about and the things that you do, it's going to be very tough for you to actually find something that could be a profitable product, because unless you're somebody with a lot of different hobbies and someone that's doing a lot of different things, you're probably going to be very limited in terms of your scope. But if you try to find something and you open yourself up to learning about something new, you could stumble upon a very profitable, very passionate niche that a lot of people aren't capitalizing on, and you could be that person to capitalize on it. On that note, one important thing that I want to convey is don't worry so much about finding a product that you know a lot about. You can sell a product you don't know anything about right now. Obviously, you're going to learn more and more about it, but for now, you don't have to worry that, hey, I don't know what this is, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell it. Don't worry about that, but you can definitely sell a product that you don't know a lot about. Now that we've gone over those 3 points, I'm going to go into the live product research, and what I'm going to do first is open up my screen and show you how I get started. Right here, I have a website open called Niche Hacks. This specific link has about 2,000 profitable niche markets that they've listed right here, as you can see, which is great. So obviously this is a lot, but this is part of the process. You look through it, you see what you can come up with, and you start jumping around and seeing what products work and which ones don't. The other thing I like to do is just search random niche markets. So searching random market niches is how I found both of these websites. And then from there, as you can see on this page, there's a lot of different websites where they have a page or a blog post or a list of all these different niches you can look into. So it's good to jump in there and kind of surf around. This link right here is the one that I have open on the second tab. Okay, so let's go back to the first tab on Niche Hacks. I was looking at this earlier and I came across something called aquaponics. Now, I'm not too familiar with aquaponics. I've heard about it a little bit, but I went to Amazon and I looked up aquaponics tanks. Right off the bat, what I look at is the number of results that aquaponics tank brings up. So 816 is not very many at all for Amazon. Amazon has millions and millions of listings. So if the main keyword for your listing has less than 1,000, that's really, really good news. Now, what that means is the competition isn't very high. Now, what I need to look at is whether or not there is enough demand for this product. So what I'll do is I'll come over here and run Jungle Scout. Okay. So this is Jungle Scout data. Now, what you can do with Jungle Scout is, as you see on the left side, when I hover over any of these listings, the number column goes into an X. So if I find something that's not relevant, because that tends to happen, I can go over to the side and get rid of it. So far, I haven't seen anything that isn't relevant. So here's one, right? It's a pump. So I'll get rid of that, and these ones as well. I can get rid of those ones, and I can get rid of these ones as well. So none of those are relevant to what I'm doing. Now, this didn't really change the quality score, but it did change the average price. If you notice, it went up by about $3, and it changed the average reviews from 200 to 208. So this is more accurate to what I'm looking for. Now what I'll do is I'll go to Alibaba.com and I'll look for aquaponics fish tanks, right? Because now this looks like a solid product. There's a good amount of demand. There's not that much competition. I want to see if this is something I could profit off of. And the average price is about $70. So let me see if this is something I could actually make money with. Aquaponics fish tank. Okay. So obviously not all of these are super relevant. So what you want to do is kind of scroll up and down, see what you can find that is relevant to what you're looking for. Now, looking through these listings, they're all kind of small fish tanks of different kinds, right? There's one that's not relevant, so I'm going to bump it off. Now, looking through these, I know these are all kind of small fish tanks, so I can get an idea of what the product is. So I look over here, this one's 68. These ones right here are 30. That one's 40, 45. That one's $17 to $24. So considering the 68, the 45, the 30, I'm going to say the average price, let's just put an average price of about $40, right? So $70 minus 40 is $30. I'm going to write this product off because $30 without Amazon fees, shipping, and taxes is not enough of a margin for me to be interested in. So aquaponics fish tank is going to get taken off. So what I'm going to do is close this out and keep looking for other products. Now what I'm going to do is look for other niches. So I found this article earlier. This goes back to what I said about finding a product or a niche that you didn't know existed. I came across number 3, which is prepping. I had no idea what it was. I thought it was related to school or college or something else. It's totally not. It's literally related to zombie apocalypse preparation, which is super random. So what I did was say apocalypse preparation. Now I was looking around here and I came across this website. There's an entire store on Shopify or on .com dedicated to this stuff. So I'll come in here, I'll look around and see, okay, what else are they selling? And I found this, survival hacks 10-in-1 paracord EDC chain, whatever it is, right? $14.99. It's selling here. I don't know how much it's selling for because I can't get this sales data from them. Now I can go to Amazon and search for the same exact thing. Okay, so let's say 10-in-1 paracord keychain. Let's copy that and throw it into here. Let's get rid of EDC and let's see what comes up. Boom. So right off the bat, there's only 15 results for this, which isn't very many. So what I might want to do is go up here and let's say the main keywords here are paracord keychain. So let me get rid of the 10-in-1. Boom. Now there's over 1,000 results and it looks like there's quite a bit of traffic here. So I'll run Jungle Scout here and see what comes up. Okay. So on this one, it shows low demand, low competition. Now, if I look through these, I can get an idea of whether or not these are all super relevant and if there's anything I can get rid of, right? You go through, you don't have to go through all of them, but you should look at the ones that are making a good amount of money and say, hey, is there anything here that doesn't make sense? You can organize it by revenue and take a look at what's making a lot of money and if it's a relevant product. Now, this is where it's important to understand that while Jungle Scout might say low demand with low competition, there's a few sellers making several $1,000s a month from this. So if you're a beginner, this could be a good product. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to move super quick and you're not going to make $1 million off of it, but you could maybe make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grand. Someone's making $11,000 a month. And remember we talked about earlier, the barrier to entry is relatively low. There's not very many reviews and there aren't very many sellers. I personally wouldn't go with this product because it doesn't seem to have very much potential. But if I was interested, I would go over to Alibaba and search for the product and see what the data looks like. Paracord keychain. Now one thing you'll notice as you start to do product research, I'm pretty sure I can show you here with one of these, is most of these pictures look very similar to these, and the reason for that is because people are literally selling products from Alibaba on Amazon, and chances are it's the same product that you're seeing over here and over here. Now this picture right here is literally the same picture that they're using right here. So they might brand it, they might call it whatever, but all they're really doing is getting the product from Alibaba and selling it on Amazon. And as you can see here, it's 70 cents to up to $3 for an order per unit, and they're selling it for about $12.99. So right off the bat, you go for 13, and let's say they're getting it for $2, we'll round it up. They have an $11 margin, and you could factor in cost, shipping, and everything else, and fees from Amazon. So this might actually be a good product. They could actually be making a good amount of money off of it. Maybe they're making a couple grand, whatever it is. It's not something that's super, super hard to rank for, but it's also not something that's going to make you a lot of money because, as you saw, there wasn't that much demand for it. One last thing I wanted to go over was when I learned how to do this, everybody was looking at Amazon bestsellers. Now, this is a big mistake that a lot of people make. They'll go to Amazon bestsellers and they'll start jumping around and looking for products and trying to see, hey, can I come up with something that's doing really well? It's already selling really well on Amazon. They'll jump in, they'll go from one category to a subcategory to a further subcategory, and they'll think, hey, this is a good product. Let me jump around and see what I can do as far as finding it on Alibaba and selling it on Amazon. So I'm just jumping around here. The reason I'm doing this is because when I first started selling on Amazon, everybody was doing this, and a few different people found a product that ended up being very profitable a couple years ago. It was the silicone barbecue gloves. Now, I want to show you guys what happens when everyone's looking in the same place and why I'm telling you to try to find something that doesn't exist and to look at places that other people are not looking. When I was doing this, everybody was looking at Amazon bestsellers and everybody was looking at the same exact products, and as a result, a bunch of people found these silicone barbecue gloves. Now, as you can see, a lot of the pictures look very similar, right? They're all kind of the same style, kind of the same color, and even the pictures look almost exactly alike. Now, if you run Jungle Scout, you'll see that this is not a product that anybody would want to get into, because while it was very popular at the time, it also ended up becoming something that was very saturated on Amazon. And now, as you can see here, there's high demand and high competition, okay? So that means there's a lot of people selling it. There's a lot of people making a lot of money, but there's also a lot of people not really making that much money off of it, right? And there's 469 reviews, and the price is relatively low. The lesson behind this, the silicone barbecue gloves, is that if everybody is looking at the same place, nobody's gonna make any money because everyone's gonna be buying the same product and you're gonna be competing with a bunch of different people. This is why it's so important to sit down and do product research, and by the end of it, setting the goal of, let me find something that I don't know exists. Because if you find something that you don't know exists, chances are you're gonna tap into a market that most other people aren't gonna look at. And that's gonna put you in a position to win big against everybody else. So be sure to look at products that you don't know exist, try to open yourself up, and just kind of keep going with it. Product research for the first 15 to 20 minutes, it's like anything else. There's creativity that needs to build and pick up momentum. It's not something you're just gonna jump to right away. It's something that takes time. So don't stress, take it easy, and understand that the first 15-20 minutes you're going to kind of get into this mode of how can I find products, how can I think more openly and think differently. Once you get into that flow, you'll start to think of so many different products, and you'll be able to come up with a lot of different ways to find a winning product and be profitable on Amazon. Like I mentioned in this video, I had no idea apocalypse preparation was even a thing, but it is something that works, and there's a good amount of money to be made off of it if you're just trying to get into this as a side hustle. The paracords were selling for up to $11,000 a month. If you think about that, a couple $1,000s a month, if that's all you're looking for, you can definitely win with a product that doesn't have a huge amount of demand. If you're trying to make your own business out of this and be full-time working for yourself, you might want to find something that has high demand, and there's a market that makes a couple $100,000 a month on Amazon, and you can capitalize big on that. But regardless, what you want to focus on is finding products with a low barrier to entry, medium to high demand. Most importantly, try to find something you don't know exists. If you're able to do that, you're going to find yourself in a really good position. You're going to be able to capitalize huge on Amazon, and it'll be as simple as finding a product, running the numbers on Jungle Scout, and then going to Alibaba to see if this is a viable product or not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to close out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them and help you guys out. And as always, be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and sign up for my newsletter. I go into way more detail on the newsletter about stuff like this on a regular basis. Be sure to do all that, and I'll see you in the next video.